Thank you all for waiting. Hello, Father. Welcome in. Thank you for the 10,000th. Did I miss anything else? How much coffee do you spill on his counter? I already told him. It's bean water time. It is indeed. This is actually a really cool contraption. I left the bag out there, but as I said, oh, look at that 95 stream streak. YouTube will never know. I mean, they won't necessarily know now if I don't, that I spilled my coffee all over. Yeah. Absolutely. But this contraption that they made for this single serve is incredible. All right. So it's like a tea steep. I think with a 95 stream streak as well, Ruth. And it like goes over top of your cup and holds the bag for the pour over. Which is it works a lot better than I thought it would. So I feel like that's really unique. But yes, oh, I'm on the wrong one. That one. That one's the one I want. Yes. But this is a single serve Vietnamese coffee by the Copper Cow Coffee Company. That's a lot of C's. A lot of COs. But this is supposed to be churro flavored. I'm super excited to see it, taste it, figure out what it's all about. One of my bartenders did give me this coffee. So big thank you for her. And we are gonna try it out. I'm not entirely sure how long you're supposed to let it steep in there. I've never done a pour over before. What are you talking? That's norm. What are you talking about, Ren? That's norm. Totally normal bowling pin. Silly. But yeah, no, it's such a cool design. Like I saw it first and I was just like, man, that's not gonna work worth shit. Little cardboard holders. That's not gonna be anything. Not to be confused with Sven. Absolutely. Not to be confused with Sven. But yeah, I was originally like, that's not gonna do shit, you know. Like it's cardboard, and you're getting, you're doing a pour over. It's not gonna hold it at all. But no, it actually took like a champ. The filter for the pour over worked really well. I was pleasantly surprised with how well it handled. But for your churro, they do have the coffee implemented with cinnamon. Which I don't know if they're just assuming like the coffee can carry the rest of the churro flavor, and then you just have to add the cinnamon, and it's gonna do it for you. But it is kind of light. We'll see if it was more of a I needed to steep it longer. It does remind me of kind of a light-ish roast, at least based off of what I was watching while it was going through everything. So churros are Mexican food, so that would be why it would be a Taco Bell, Father. But we have churros at the bowling alley. But it is, I think they say dark. First company used real herbs and spices to flavor our coffee, featuring real cinnamon blended into a naturally rich dark roast. So that kind of makes me a little bit worried. I mean, it doesn't look too terribly light. Like, I mean, it's still got some color. And so will be interesting to see what we're looking at. It says naturally chocolatey and nutty undertones with a warm spiced finish. And as usual, when we start talking about spices, all I can think about is mud water. So I'm really hoping we don't have a similar occurrence to that. But lo and behold, I was bad and didn't order coffee. So we get what we get, right? I will say the smell wise, you are dealing with a lot of the cinnamon. There is a lot of cinnamon in the air. that I can smell. But I am looking forward to a new experience. Again, I've never done a pour over technique, so I'm not entirely confident in the capabilities. So we'll see how bad I mess this one up. But without further ado, I give to you the sip. Okay, so it's not weak like I thought it would be. So that's good. The cinnamon is very pronounced, as I would expect it to be, considering they just infused the coffee with the cinnamon. I'm just glad it's not weak, because I thought for sure I was gonna mess it up. I'll also say that with the packaging and everything, I'm really impressed that I don't have the dill anymore. And I've tried doing blends like that, and it just does not work, pops. It's just you get so many different types of beans. It's just it's never really good. So I drink it and I deal with it when I have to. But I would never try to rate any of that. Uh, yeah, no, I'm good, pops. I'm good. No, we're just doing so on Wednesdays, Arcane. We do roast rates where I rate coffees. We've done 150-ish of them. Today's is from Copper Cow Coffee Company. This is it's supposed to give you a churro flavor. I'm really not getting chocolatey and nutty. The cinnamon is very much so overtaking the entire cup. But I'm getting a lot of cinnamon. But it's not terrible for what it is. Like single serve, like a single serve. I'd say in all reality, what it really reminds me of is like a lot of times when we were growing up as kids, um, we would have like the cinnamon sugar on toast, right? For breakfast. And I feel that a lot in this, minus like the butteriness of it. So it does the cinnamon sugar really well. Um, but for the coffee and stuff, the cinnamon just overloads it all. Um, I'll be interested. So I have another one of these pouches, which isn't flavored. I will be interested to know how that goes over. I also think that this cup might not have been designed um this cup not designed in order to like handle the brewing, not brewing because you know you're not brewing, handle the pour overness because the bag doesn't really fit in the paw very well. Would you rather us talk about icy hot pops? I'm sure that'll help too. You put butter in your Earl Grey tea? See, Throttle, I don't believe that's factual, sir. But I was kind of worried about the herbs and in the coffee. Are you suggesting I try tea, Throttle? No, that's a renegade thing. That's not me. That's optimistic Ren. But so I was very concerned with the herbs. Um just because again, with the uh with all of the coffee substitutes that Schnoodle has made us try, it's made me concerned whenever herbs are brought up in anything. So it was kind of like okay, let's see how this goes. But it's actually I'm probably gonna give it like a probably like a 5 or a 6. I would say it's interchangeable, maybe a little bit better than like a normal Maxwell House. It's really smooth at the finish. It's nice and delightful, I will say. And again, for a single serve, typically when you get to that kind of stuff, you're forced to deal with instant coffee. So the fact that you can get at least like a comparative coffee in a single serve spot is crazy for me. Um Granted, again, I've never really messed with pour overs or any kind of that technique, just because that seems like drip pot with extra steps, um and with fancy filters and stuff like that. But when it comes to, again, single, like, I can imagine going camping, right? Like we talk about with the no the outdoor coffee paste, like that's designed for out and about and on the go when you can't bring stuff like that. I mean, if you just heat it up, pour it in and let it sit, I mean, that's a very nice cup of coffee. um I would also be interested to see, because I don't think pour overs are supposed to be steeped. So I think that might also be an issue why I'm getting so much cinnamon. Um, as it's cooling down, I can kind of get a little bit of a chocolatey flavor in it. So that might also be. Um, but I'm again, first time ever doing any kind of pour over. Yeah, but if you don't have a percolator, you just grab a box of these, throw them in, you just heat up water, pour it over, and you're good, kind of thing. And I think that's what the idea of is for it. So I would also be interested to know if, um, which I might try with the next one. But again, it would be nicer if I had like multiples of these. Maybe I'll talk to my bartender and be like, "Hey, where'd you get that?" Because the more we go in here, you can really start to get a little bit more of those flavors. So it's almost like the majority of the cinnamon was like on top of the coffee and the flavoring. Now, there's still a lot of cinnamon taste the further down we get. So again, I think the fact that I left it in there so long probably has something to do with that. But I was also concerned that I wasn't going to get enough of the flavoring of the beans and the coffee. Like I didn't feel like we were going to make enough of the coffee sense of the experience if I just poured it through. Yeah, it's like 5 or a 6. I would say it's probably pretty interchangeable with what we have on a day-to-day basis with our Maxwell house. Um, and for those of you new around here, the way I do my rating system is, so I drink Maxwell House every day at work, and that's my baseline. That's where my 5 is, and then we go up and down from there based off of how much more or less I would like to drink the coffee. So if you hear, 5 out of 10, it seems like it's not that great, but I would consider that um interchangeable with what I would drink every day. I would drink that. I would drink this every day. Um I feel like the more you drink it, the better you're going to get at preparing it. Um I'm also not entirely sure how we doing, Nate. Thank you for the lurk. I do appreciate you. And like everything else, the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. And you can play around with some more things. Um, like I said, I do have another pouch of the Vietnamese coffee. It's not the Churro one, but it is a pouch of it, and so I might be able to play around with it a little bit more. And we'll go from there. I think I am going to ultimately give it a 5, just because I feel like it's interchangeable. The cinnamon overpowering. If it was a different flavor that I liked more, I would probably rate it the 6. But did I check out any pour over vids? No, of course not. I don't plan for things throttle. We just go in guns a blazing. I did look on the website a little bit while I was getting the information. But I feel like I did all right because of the cool pouch. Well, that's not the flavor. The cool pouch has nothing to do with the flavor. The cool pouch is pretty cool though. That was engineered very well. So 10 out of 10 for the pouch. And the pour over on the go, which, you know, really cool, really awesome. But that is your roast rate. Do I know what a bloom is? I know what an onion bloom is. You knock them all down, you get extra points. Exactly. No, that's not style. That's succeeding at the game, Father. But that is your roast rate. We're just going to keep it at normal 5 out of 10. We'll try again with the other one eventually, and I'll let you guys know how I feel that is. Just because, again, when I was pouring it, it didn't really feel dark enough, so I made sure that that we at least got enough of the flavor of the coffee in to try it out. So we might have steeped it a little bit too long, but lo and behold, first time, you know, it's not that bad. But that is your roastery. I do appreciate y'all being here, hanging out. Next week, we will have Seraphs. What? You just need to add it to everything. No. No, Grace. Not at all. Hard pass. But let's get back to the game, shall we?